Hello everyone, I'm Tremayne, and this is my review of Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 19, If He's Stalking, I'm Walking. Originally I actually thought the title was talking about Cordell because they've been talking about his controlling nature so much, which I don't really believe is as controlling as they're trying to show it on the show. But He's Stalking, I'm Walking turned out to be about Kenya and Walter. So first I'll just say this episode was an improvement over many of the previous episodes. It actually had me excited. It had me, really interested and invested in what was going on. And, it was just fun to watch. I've complained in the past that a lot of the Housewives shows show more of a extravagant lifestyle for the ladies, especially like Housewives of Beverly Hills. And it was really, really nice to see them showing that the housewives they picked for Atlanta can be some good divas too, with a lot going on, and that's pretty interesting. I mean, I loved Candy's house. It was amazing, showing that she finally got offices, and Nene on the Today Show, and all the things that she did. Regis and Kathy, Wendy just won her press tour. So, this really gave you, a lot. The most extravagant housewife for most of this season has been Portia. So it was nice to see that she's not the only one. So I'll get into the review. It starts off with Portia and Cordell taking a pregnancy test, and she's not pregnant. At least not at this point in time. There have been pictures online where people have questioned whether or not she's had a baby bump or not. But on the show, she was revealed to not have a baby. And Cordell is sort of torn a little bit. He's sort of relieved, but he's also, sort of like in the middle because, he would have been happy having a baby, but he also feels like Portia needs some growing up to do and needs to make some decisions. So, this makes Portia really upset because she feels like they can have it all because they have money. And he's like, you can't have it all. You need to also make some decisions on what's more important to you, career or family. So, do you want children or do you want a career? So he's really asking her to sort of like make a choice because he's old school traditional, so if she has a baby, he really wants her to be a mother and raise the kid, not act like a single mother who has to, take care of the kid, make the bacon fried up, and do everything herself. He's like, we're rich, but I'm not thinking about no nannies. And I'm actually not mad at him for that. As a guy, I know if I had a choice between a nanny essentially raising my child for the most part while my wife spent money and partied and did TV shows, or my wife taking care of the kid and making sure the kid is raised with the values that we set forth and making sure that nothing really happens, then I would rather my wife take care of the kid, and if she can have a home-based business or something that incorporates her motherhood, or something that doesn't affect her being able to take care of the child, then we can do that too. But c'est la vie. Candy finally gets her offices, which I mentioned earlier, and that was good because Candy's like, I'm always having meetings in restaurants, and so she was happy that she can finally say, meet me in my office. And slowly but surely we've been seeing Candy become an industry unto itself, whether it's sex toys or music. She's really been pushing and just being on her grind. She did what most people should do on a reality show. She used her newfound fame because, let's face it, before Real Housewives of Atlanta, nobody was checking for Candy. No matter whether or not she was making money producing behind the scenes, this put her right smack in the camera back in our faces and, sort of refreshed our memory to, okay, who's this? And now she's marketable. We got to see Nene on her press tour, and it was nice seeing Nene on her press tour. I've been a fan of Nene since the show started. She's always had that quality. Some people would say she was ghetto or whatever, but she has a star quality. She has a sparkle. She's natural in front of the camera. And just seeing her light up on this press tour so happy was really good to see, refreshing, not just mean, bad girl Nene, but we also got, Nene actually on her grind doing some real things that have nothing to do with reality TV. Cynthia and Peter, he's having a men's health social event, and he's trying to invite like the Atlanta elite. Now, my only problem with this is men who are rich or wealthy or whatever, I'm sure they are taking care of themselves. They can afford a doctor. They can afford to do what they got to do. Or have a wife nagging the hell out of them about, when they need to be seen. The people who, as a former paramedic, the people who need this sort of health fare is going to be people that are middle class, low income, because they're less likely to get checked out for things because you just can't afford it. And some people have too much pride to go through the whole process of like Medicare, whatever, being on welfare, and getting your health care that way. Sometimes those people in those offices make you feel like this big, that, you're like the scum of the earth now here. Been there, done that when I was a kid. We were on welfare for a little while. And it's an experience that you do not want to experience if you don't have to. Glad, we didn't stay on it. And I'm glad I've never had to go on it on my own. We got Portia and Cordell again. She lets him know that the girl said he was controlling. He kind of laughs it off. They have this weird moment where he's getting his suit tailored or whatever, and then he like pulls up his jacket and he like sort of like flashes ass. It was like I know that guy Andy Cohen, that was probably his editing. And then we've got he just basically reiterates he's not controlling. He wants her to do whatever she wants to do, but he really wants her to choose between being a mother and trying to have a career. And it just sort of like, I think the editing also is really bad because I think that it really stirs towards trying to make Cordell look like a bad guy. And I think that he's just really overprotective. Which sometimes you have to be, especially on reality TV where people are constantly being exploited. He's trying to make sure that his wife comes out looking good on the other end, especially when the bitch doesn't even know. I'm still trying not to say bitch all the time, but especially when the bitch don't know how to pee on a goddamn stick to see if she's pregnant. She's like, I can't pee for 2 minutes. How are you supposed to pee for 2 minutes? And he's like, you don't pee for 2 minutes. You just need to wait 2 minutes. And she's like, I'm trying to pee. And you want to be his baby mama. He's right. She has some growing up to do. She probably should focus more on career now while she's growing up and getting adjusted to adulthood. She's definitely, I've mentioned before, I feel she's transitioning from being a girl to a woman, and he's trying to mold her and try to, be daddy and husband. So, things like that don't help the cause of Portia being a grown-ass woman going to strip clubs, doing whatever she want to do. He's right, locking her down and saying, look, you need to grow up a little more, and then I'll let you do whatever. Now, Walter is at an event, and he brings his date, the health fair event. He brings a date, and Phaedra and Apollo promote their DVD. Not a lot happens at the party. There's a lot of tension of what's going to happen when Kenya sees Walter. They essentially just avoid each other. But I've been seeing online these pictures of Candy and Phaedra and all the housewives dressed up in costumes, and I'm like, is this part of the show? Well, we finally got our answer. If you've seen those pictures, yeah, it's coming up. I don't know what episode is going to come up on, but Kenya was busy inviting all the girls to her costume ball. So, I'm really excited to see that because it looks like it was a lot of fun. And she decides to pick who everybody's going to be. Controlling ass bitch. Just say it's a costume party, come as you want. But of course, Kenya's got to say, I want you to be this, I want you to be that. So she goes to Cynthia and says, I want you to be Diana Ross. She goes to Candy and says, I want you to be Tina Turner. Then she gets to Portia, and she's like, I want you to be like Halle Berry from Babs. And Portia's looking like, are you fucking kidding me? You know, you want me to basically dress up like a prostitute? That was Kenya's being Kenya. You know, Portia's like, no fucking way I'm doing this shit. She says she wants to bury a hatch with Phaedra, invites her to the party, and says she wants to be Eartha Kitt, like dress up like, you know, Eartha Kitt's Catwoman. And I think she's hoping that fake Phaedra comes in a cat suit and can show her body so she can make fun of her weight. I think that's what happens. But the bottom line is, I already seen the pictures, which I'm providing to you now. And Cynthia did come as Diana Ross, but she didn't come as an over-the-top Diana Ross. I'm not a Diana Ross fan, so I can't remember what movie that is. Probably Mahogany. Hell, it could have been Lady Sings the Blues, who the hell knows. But Cynthia's dressed up as Diana Ross. Candy comes as Tina Turner, and I was so wrecked with that one because she looked like broke down as Tina Turner. Bitch, you're a millionaire. See, there I go again, bitch, bitch, bitch. You know, you're a millionaire. You should be able to look like Tina Turner, who didn't go to the thrift store. And then you got Portia. You know damn well she wasn't going as no fucking Babs character. You know, she comes as Dorothy Dandridge. So I'm sure Kenya didn't like that, because there's a picture of, I guess, probably when Kenya first sees Portia not dressed the way she said. You know, and Kenya's looking at her like, oh, bitch, you didn't. You know. And then Phaedra comes as Catwoman. And, you know, and Nene comes as Grace Jones. So it should be fun. And she even comes in on a chariot. So that should be a lot of fun to watch. Oh, and Kenya chose for herself. She's coming as Pam Grier. Yeah, I'm surprised she can come as Beyonce. The guys get together, and Walter essentially explains that Kenya was too old for him. He doesn't explain why he came to Anguilla with her, but just says that she was too old for him. He likes his women like he likes his rims, like 22, 24, 26s. Phaedra and Kenya agreed to truce, which I mentioned. And, also at Kenya's party, we also get an appearance from Marlo Hampton. I don't know if she'll be making on camera on the show, but Marlo Hampton will come as Diane Carroll. And then the show sort of fast forwards, moves on to Candy's housewarming party, where once again Walter has been invited, and everybody's expecting for the shit to hit the fan, because Walter's found out that Kenya's been telling everybody that he's gay, and so he's brought his like 20-year-old date to sort of like rub it in Kenya's face, and he's ready to confront her. And I think one of the guys, Apollo's exact words was, he's going to let her have it. That does not in any way, shape, or form help the cause of you saying you're not gay. Okay. Now, of course, every blog that I've ever read about Walter was that he's straight as an arrow, and he's pretty much fucked half the women in Atlanta. So I'm not going to say that Walter is gay, but he needs to stop saying shit like that. Let me see. Candy's house is amazing. From room to room to room, it's something that you need to watch the show to see, or maybe see the pictures online. I don't know. But the pictures I've seen online of Candy's house from this episode don't hold justice to, you know, how great the house looked. And it was the main house they showed. And then she has the guest house. So, you know, Cynthia, I made a note because Cynthia said she and Peter need to up their game, because Candy keeps saying her house, but it's more like an estate. Okay, it's a mansion, it's an estate, whatever you want to call it. This shit's amazing. You know, I want to have something like that one day, since I'm a producer and I'm doing my thing. Hopefully one day I'll be bigger than Tyler Perry and Oprah and everybody, and then you look at these videos and go, oh, I remember seeing him on YouTube. But, you know, it's an amazing house, and actually my dreams are a little bit bigger than that house. you know, I actually want something even bigger. So people think I'm crazy. I own a house now that people say, oh my God, you have such a big house. And I look at them like they're crazy. Like, I know I'm just one person living here and I've got like a 3-story house, but still, you know, I want a bigger house. My house ain't big enough. But, and you've probably seen a lot of my house if you watched any of my productions because I shoot here. We also have like, you know, water in the back, the lake, pond, everyone call that shit back there. You know, a lot of my photography you'll see back here. Just so you know, this is my house that I do a lot of shooting in. I have a gym here. I have a huge gym I train in down here. So when you watch my exercise show, a lot of times you may not know this right away, but you're watching, you know, the gym I have downstairs in my house. So I got a lot here. I have a nice house, but I want a better house. Okay, the party is big. It has a lot of people there. There's a lot of tension between will Kenya and Walter see each other. And Kenya finds out from Candy. She warns her that Walter's there. And she runs for the hills, claiming that Walter is stalking her. And she has to go. It kind of to be continues on that note. But we can see in the next clip for the next episode that nothing happens. So it's like, okay, why are you making this more dramatic than it is? We see that she leaves. She doesn't actually confront Walter. So the next thing, so that's the episode. So if you watch my Love and Hip Hop review, you know I have a segment where I talk about the latest gossip about Love and Hip Hop after I talk about the episode. And for this particular episode, we have me giving you gossip about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I try to slip it in when I can. But the juiciest gossip I've heard essentially comes directly from the reunion show we'll all be watching in a couple of weeks. They said that Candy did not mention that she's suing Kim over the Tardy for the Party song. They're not allowed to talk about that. I think because both of them have shows coming out on Bravo, so neither one of them are really airing that dirty laundry right now. Kenya calls out Phaedra for being photoshopped, you know, in her video. They said Kim was really played down, even though she had a little bit of drama with Nene in the reunion. And there's a lot of Kenya versus Phaedra over the video, but she also, Phaedra comes armed with proof that Kenya has a fake booty and she got the shots or whatever, implants. And then Kenya, you know, pulls up, you know, about Apollo being in strip clubs and stuff like that. And Walter's not allowed to participate, so we won't get any definitive answer because you know the big controversy where Walter stated on the radio that he was in fact not Kenya's boyfriend, that it was all made up, and that he asked her to do as a favor because she needed a man to be on the show. And then they said there's a lot went down with Portia and Cordell as far as them blaming him, saying he was too controlling. And then after the reunion was over, it became a Twitter battle because Nene tweeted something about Cordell. I think I'm going to put it on the screen for you. She's tweeted basically about him possibly being in the closet, cheating with a man. And then Cordell tweeted back, you know, you better not try it, you sorry ass. And she deleted the Twitter account. He's got too much fucking money to be fucking with. And there's a rumor going on now that Cordell has made Portia quit the show and she won't be on season 2. I can understand why. But that's yet to be seen. I don't think Portia contributed a lot to the show this year. They really forced her in. She doesn't really naturally fit in with the rest of the cast, maybe because they're older. But, you know, I would like to see her get a second season at least to see if they can develop her a little bit more. And she is funny because she does come off dumb as hell, even though I'm not saying she's dumb. But she really thought she had to pee on a stick for 2 minutes. That is my review for this week, and I hope to see you again soon. Oh, check out my Love and Hip Hop review. I'm doing it tonight. I can't wait for that shit to come on. And then later in the week, I'm going to be doing my Braxton review. I'll put the links on for my previous reviews, but I'll update them with the new ones. So check out my links and see the latest reviews of Love and Hip Hop and the Braxtons.